Ben, would you talk to us a little bit about the adult men and the young men? What is a man like at the beginning?
It's all through Zoom, so I'm looking at a screen, but I see their brokenness, I see their pain, and I can see how life has caught up to them in a way that they had not ever really imagined before. It's difficult, it's challenging, and sometimes daunting for men to realize I've got to do a lot of work now that I was not planning on doing.
Can you explain the difference between what actually happens and what they fear is going to happen?
In most guys' minds, this idea that they're going to get healed, they're going to be cured, it's all going to go away. The reality is it's not quite like that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's just a painful process. And they start to realize, wait a second, I'm not the only dude that has struggled. And knowing that there are guys with me during this process, this journey, is extremely encouraging. That's probably one of the most common expressions I hear from guys during group is this is, I didn't know it was going to be this awesome to be with guys who know what I'm experiencing. They've felt all of these things before, and we're just going to do this together. That's amazing.
I work with the Sons of Healing age group, which is the pre-married teenagers. And I've seen this with the adult men as well. There's, in addition to what you've shared, the fear of some kind of humiliation experience. Like, I'm going to get there and we're going to be having awkward conversations about awkward things. It's going to be embarrassing and at best shameful. Sometimes they're surprised. And I've had guys who come for a week or two and they're like, when do we start talking about the awkward stuff? Like, when do we do that? And I'm all, we don't. You know, I think some of my guys come in late on purpose so that they can hear the rest of the guys go, hoorah, like, who's here? Look who's here. We're excited to have you, that old TV show Cheers. Then they're expecting the awkward conversation about bad behavior, which never happens. Like, how do you address it if it never happens? Because of this athletic military approach we have of studying the stratagems of our opponent. They are confused at first. The warriors are like, that's how you figure out how to win. You can actually study the methods of our opponent. And well, yeah, it's called a lost battle analysis. We just walk you through it. We've already figured out how to do it because we've done this so many times. Satan is predictable like any other military strategist. And once we, as spiritual scientists, understood that you can actually study Satan, you can prepare for him, and you can train, now we can turn our meetings into training sessions instead of shame sessions. Karen, you've met lots of moms and fathers who have accidentally imagined a horrific experience for their warriors. Can you tell us how they're going to be pleasantly surprised?
So the first things that moms learn and mothers you know really is that the Savior has to be your best friend if you're going to make it through this, because he's the person that's going to save your son. And all the saving you thought you could do, it doesn't really work the way you thought it would work. And all the tricks you've tried in all the other areas of your child's life, that doesn't work either. Finding the Savior for you and letting him, allowing him in to heal you so that you can manage your battlefield is big for moms. And they don't want to go there first. They want to go to, what can I do for my son? How can I make sure he does this? Just the very countenance on their faces change when they can see what's really going on, and they realize, okay, I don't like this. This isn't where I want to be, but my son has to learn to swing his sword. So I guess I'll give it back to him.
It seems to me, Karen, that those feelings are maybe even different or sometimes the same when a mom brings more than one son to the arena.
It depends on if she's allowed herself to learn. I had no idea that I could have this kind of confidence in this kind of storm. Okay, I can watch this, and I can see the value in you getting kind of used to the gore of this battle, my boy. But if they can do that, then they're like, okay, they have a heightened level of awareness of what they're looking for with their younger children, and they can't wait. Like, they don't even wait. Some of them will just be, I'll just put them in. I'll just put them right in because I think they all need this. in that situation, because a mom does realize this program has been such great man training for my son. I think he learned so much more about being a man, about really caring about women and providing and protecting, and being the kind of man I've been trying to raise him to be, with more alertness and really wanting it with his heart instead of me telling him to act like he wants it for me. And so that's so impressive to a mom to notice he didn't learn one thing about how to be more into this behavior. He learned everything about his identity and why he would be ensnared.
One of the things that is a turning point for these moms is, and the wives, is when their son or husband comes home with like a turning point, like with a grasp on one or more of the principles that becomes a game changer. Can you share with us some of the top 3, top 5 concepts that seem to be the game changers?
There are a lot, actually. There's a lot of things that take place, a lot of principles that are meaningful. In my experience, it's usually around the satanic spin and the chemical scales. And it's like a light bulb goes on in their brain, like, oh my gosh. In the beginning, I'm always asking a struggle that they've had in the last 7 days, a success they've had, and then why they're so awesome. And that gives them an opportunity to share something that was difficult for them and be vulnerable. So they practice that vulnerability piece. That's not a macho thing to do in our culture, to share something that you've struggled with, especially around some sort of sexual deviant behavior, right? And so for them to be real and authentic, there's some serious emotions that come up. They realize they can be real and everything is going to be okay still. Because in that moment when guys will practice that vulnerability, everybody else in the group gets to practice empathy. And when that vulnerability and empathy come together, man, that's a really, really tight connection piece.
As I've interviewed graduates, I say, what was the game changer point for you? They say, when I realized that I am not my own worst enemy. When I realized that there is an intelligent, strategic, ruthless opponent who's investing a ton of energy in sabotaging and debilitating my existence and my family. Now I know it's who I'm fighting against, and it's not against myself. Men are fine with a sliver of compassion, that's nice, but give me strategy, give me technique, give me method, give me something I can actually do that's different. Having the idea of a strategy is not adequate. What has your experience been watching these guys graduate?
Well, I've received many wedding invitations and invitations to attend their farewells.
With guys who thought they weren't going to go on missions. Correct. And they did not think they were going to get married at the temple.
I don't know. That's what draws me to keep doing this kind of work, is because it's so rewarding, and to see that shift, that miracle take place in their own heart. Like, it is what the scriptures say, a new heart is placed inside of them, and they become somebody different. That diversity within a group is so phenomenal. You've got all these guys with these different struggles, but yet they all have their own different strengths as well. And I don't believe in coincidences. I think they all come to the group for a reason, but my goodness, they start working together, and even though they're very, very different in many ways, they have this common piece that says, we've been through a lot on our own, and now we're here and we can do this together. Let's link arms. Let's just go at this together.